All right, guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today. For this one, we are going to do another out and about video for you. So today, I'm still in Singapore. I'm in Chuchat, which is in the eastern part of the city. And we're going to check out this place behind me here, Blue Smoke. So this one is a sort of sister company, subsidiary, whatever you want to call it. But essentially, this is the restaurant and tap room of the 1925 Brewing Company. So we'll do as we always do. We'll go in, we'll have a little look around, we'll try some of the beers, we'll try the food as well. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Definitely cool to visit another really interesting place here in Singapore. So let's get started. All right, guys. So yeah, just so you can see what the neighborhood looks like, it's actually really quite nice. We just had an absolute ton of rain, which you'll see at another point in the video. But yeah, Chuchat is actually really quite nice, actually. Very, very clean. So yeah, let's head over to Blue Smoke then. And one of the brothers who owns this is actually quite a famous celebrity chef. So yeah, this guy's been filming here today. So yeah, you can see we've been filming here, so you'll see all of this a little bit later on. But yeah, this is the restaurant and things here. So you can see all the beers are on the bar over there. But yeah, they've got a good selection of stuff here. So yeah, you've got all your spirits and things and stuff behind the bar. And the restaurant is quite nice and modern. So yeah, you can see the kitchen up here, which is where all the magic happens. Some of the nice artwork and things here. But yeah, quite a small place, but you know, quite homey at the same time. So yeah, there is Mr. Ivan in the Singapore Sunday Times, which is pretty cool. But yeah, there's the different kind of woods that they're using for their smoking as well, actually, Asian woods. So yeah, they've got a slushy machine as well, which I think is needed. But yeah, there you can see a little showcase of the yellow van, which I guess we might need to try at some point as well. But yeah, they've also got this, which is it's really cool too. So there you can see the World Gourmet Award, which is quite interesting. And yeah, the guys here have won awards, and you know, quite rightly so actually, from the food that we've tried. But yeah, we'll need to get back to doing some tasting. I've been sitting here, so let's leave it at that for our little walk around, and you'll see the first beer review in just a second. All right, guys. Well, time for beer tasting number one then here at 1925 Brewing Company's Blue Smoke Restaurant. So when I arrived, I walked about 1 kilometre from the Euros station, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so by the time I got here, I was quite thirsty. So yeah, I met Ivan, who very kindly took me through all of the beers. And yeah, the first one he recommended for me was this guy, the Lychee Lager. I needed a big one because of the heat. So the other beers that we've tried probably will be the smaller tasters and things like that. But anyway, so this is the Lychee Lager. Comes in at 4.8% ABV. And they were telling me that a lot of their beers are kind of engineered to like different palates, because obviously Singapore has a whole mix of like, you know, Southeast Asians, Indians, Westerners, and you know, Chinese background as well. So yeah, the beers are all kind of engineered to pair with different foods. Up at the brewery, they do have you know, more experimental beers and things like that, but there's a good array of stuff. So we will get some interesting tastings. But yeah, anyway, so you can see this beer poured lovely kind of golden blonde colour. When it came out, about a finger of a frothy kind of cream coloured head. It looks nice, pretty clear this one, but a little bit of a natural haze to it, as you would expect here. Now, I haven't reviewed all that many fruit lagers over the years. It's just, you know, in honesty, it's a style that's never really kind of appealed to me that much. But say this is one of the ones that is, apparently this beer is kind of designed to go with the food here. So you should try it. You should try it. Go into it with an open mind. So let's look at the nose then. Yeah, that's interesting. It's almost got a little bit of like a kind of like hibiscusy, like jasmine type spice to it. That's really interesting. So yeah, like hibiscus, jasmine type spice. You can definitely smell that juicy lychee kind of thing. And of course you've got the background of the lag as well. So you've got like, you know, fresh white bread crust, fluffy white bread, Maybe a little touch of like brown bread as well. I think there's a wee bit of Pilsner malt in this too. You can smell that Pilsner malt crispness like in the back of the nose. Um, but yeah, it really does have this like jasmine sort of like jasmine hibiscusy type spice to it. That's really interesting. Yeah. There's maybe a little touch of like biscuity sweetness in the malt base too, but other than that, I don't know if there's too much to report. On the hoppy side of things, there's a little bit of earthiness, there's a little bit of herbal character, you have got a little bit of a floral aromaticity as well, some nice grassiness, all things that you would expect of all things that you would expect um, of a lager beer, of course. And the fruitiness, obviously, you've got the lychee in there. You've got a little bit of a sort of, I get a little bit of lemon limey character coming out of this one too, and maybe a little bit like oily pear and things. So yeah, it's really interesting aroma this. But yeah, let's have a taste of it and see what it's all about. So lychee lager, 4.8% ABV, our first beer from 1925, Brewing Company in Singapore at their Blue Smoke restaurant, Slanger. That's interesting. The impact flavour is just like any sort of ordinary lager. Like a sort of Helles type lager, German Helles. But then, yeah, into the aftertaste, you get this really the lychee. I've never really considered lychee as being like sort of spicy and its sort of fruity character before, but this is really interesting. The lychee has this almost, as I say, like it's got the lychee oiliness at the front of the palate, then you just get this like jasmine sort of spicy character out of it. That's really nice. Yeah, maybe fruit lagers are something that I need to be a little bit more open-minded with because it is really nice. I mean, the sort of again that sort of spicy bite that it has is good for the heat here. So plus a different style of brewing out in Southeast Asia and places like this. This is really interesting. It's very easy to drink, I will say that. It starts off quite sweet, and as I say, it leans more toward the juicy fruitiness and that wee bit of like spicy character. But yeah, middle of your palate, the backbone is like a fresh white bready bread crust. Yeah, but that fresh white bready bread crust in there. Then you have some really nice like crackery notes above that. Then like a mix of sweet brown and white bread. Above that and back in the middle for the palate, you start to get the kind of pilsner malty dryness, and there's a wee bit of sweetness in there as well. But embedded in all the bready characters, you've got a little bit of this kind of like jasmine business as well in him. It's really like a kind of jasmine type note that comes out of this one. Lavender almost. Yeah. I don't think you can really eat lavender, but still. It has this really, you can feel that spiciness just in the middle of your palate there that comes out. There's that circle of sweetness in the middle of your tongue that gives you the sort of biscuity type mix out of this one. So yeah, it's absolutely lovely. The middle third of your palate was great. The back third of your palate is quite similar, just the flavours are a bit like taller and more airy. You've got the yeast above that, which is like a dense brown bready, sweet character, a bit of crust and a bit of crack wood around it. Yeah. On the hoppy side of things, back corners of your palate, a little bit earthy. As you move further forward, it's a little bit herbal as well. Then it gets more floral. As you reach the front corners of the palate, then more grassy and zesty into the front curve of the top. So yeah, the fruity side of this beer. The thing is, if you add fruit into beer as an adjunct, it's always going to suppress the green component of the beer a little bit. Not too much in this case, interestingly. So yeah. The lychee seems to behave a little bit differently, but as I say, this is the very first time I think I've had a lychee lager. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's unlikely. Yeah. But yeah, I think we said the green component, we said everything we for the green component. The front third of your palate, a bit of breadiness and stuff underneath. And then, of course, you've got a little bit of like oily pear and sultana, these kind of flavours from the hops. But of course, above that, you've got the lychee addition in this one. So yeah, the oily lychee is there, and then that sort of spicy jasmine floral thing that you're getting out of this one too. So yeah, that's really nice in this one. I do like how that mixes together. Mouthfeel wise, top end to light bodied. Carbonation's got a good wee bit of crispness too, and the sort of spice that the beer has helps, and the IBU is definitely there too. I mean, this is 25, maybe 30 IBUs, but the spice maybe makes it feel a little bit more than it actually is. Always take my IBU counts with a pinch of salt. It's my weakest point of beer reviewing. But yeah, the as I say, the fruity side of this one is quite nice, gnarly, a little bit spicy as well. Again, multi back one, this is good. But yeah, that's a solid start to things here at 1925 and no smoke. So yeah, I think we could leave it at that. The lychee lager, the one that's meant to be paired with all the food that they have here. So let's leave it at that for this one, and we'll see what comes up next. Catch you guys in a second. All right, guys. So Blue Smoke, of course, has a shitload of good meat, and we're going to have a little look at some of the pork belly. And I'm joined by EK, who is going to tell us a little bit about the company. So let's flip the camera around and do this. All right, guys. So like you saw a second ago, I'm joined by EK, who is the main man behind the brewing side of the 1925 Brewing Company. And he very kindly invited me along to try some of the food, look at some of the beers, and we've been talking a little bit. So you maybe say a little bit when you started in 1925, what brought you into brewing the beer and all this kind of thing. Just tell us your journey.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So 1925 actually, well, contrary to whatever the name is, we weren't founded during 1925, right? But we only started 10 years ago. Actually, exactly, this is our 10th year. So it was founded by me, my brother, and my uncle. So the three of us, the common denominator was actually my grandfather. So we decided to name it 1925 after the year he was born. So 1925 is the year my grandfather was born.
Golden flowers thing.
Oh, cool, thank you.
Oh, it's going in the video.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So so at the 1925, what we try to do is, three of us being born, bred, working in Singapore, living our life in Singapore all this while, we decided to, have a little bit of Asian Singaporean representation in terms of beer and in terms of food. So what you find in our beers is essentially beers featuring Asian or even local Singaporean ingredients, beers that actually suit our climate, beers that actually suit our culture, and suit our cuisine as well.
Yeah.
So from the beers even to the food, so the food you find here, like I said, there's lots of meat. So for the foods, what we like to do is mainly smoke and grill. So essentially what we did was we took some of the American barbecue concept, the American smoking concept, and then we localized it.
Okay.
And what exactly we mean by that? So, for example, which we'll try later, the beef brisket, there's been smoked 20 over hours.
Okay.
Over local wood, like lychee wood and mangrove charcoal.
Oh, nice.
And on top of that, beef brisket is actually marinated with garam masala. And this is actually an Asian spice. Right, and it's also served on top of smoked rendang sauce.
Oh, nice. Sounds really interesting.
So it's actually a very different take to the whole typical American Southern barbecue idea. And we are actually using, a bit similarly to the whole American barbecue concept, we're actually using smoke as an ingredient to the food, which you will actually try later in the pork belly. So it's not just any other crispy pork belly. This pork belly has actually been over the fire, it's been crisp, it has been touched by the flames and has smoked over, I think, 2 or 3 hours. So you get that whole juicy, low crispy pork belly flavors. On top of that, it's enhanced by that smokiness. And that's what gives it that unique flavor.
I think we should taste a little bit of it now then, since you've described it. So we'll do that, I guess.
Oh, yeah, sure. Then on top of that, you can try the sauce as well. The sauce has a little bit of wasabi cream in there.
Oh, okay.
So it adds a slight hint of spice, but yet it's not spicy.
Okay. All right. I always we've got more stuff for that.
You got the 22-hour smoked brisket.
Oh, nice.
Right, so it's marinated with garam masala. So it's got a beef rendang, very rendang flavors.
Yeah.
Right, then you have the sunflower seed cream that's actually fermented and cooked for over 1 day. And then you have the kombucha with pickles instead of ACV. So basically, if you want to have something that's less sour, go for the sunflower seed cream. more extreme sours to cut through the fat.
All right. So guys, this was Ivan. Ivan's the main man behind the kitchen here. Yeah. So, yeah. I always think the thing on the channel, you try it raw and then you try it with the sauce.
Oh yes, yeah. That's a good way. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, look at this. You can tell it's beautiful looking meat. If we swing it around, I'm going to move my face out of the way because the camera always zooms in on the face. You can see it's got lovely seasoning and things. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's really nice as it is. It doesn't need anything else, I would say. It's like very sweet, very juicy,
Yeah.
and the seasoning just
That's nice.
seasoning just really makes it go down so easy. It's lovely.
Yeah. So a lot of the roast pork that you try in Singapore, most of them are marinated in 5 spices.
Ah, okay.
That's a typical Asian, Southeast Asian way of eating crispy pork belly. Right, a lot of recipes, if you go online, that's like crispy pork belly. Usually they will tell you to marinate it with 5 spices.
Ah, yeah.
Right, but this, we do it very differently. We do it our take. I'm not sure whether you want to review what exactly is the marinade.
Ah, okay.
But of course, one of the key ingredients here is actually just
Okay. Right. So we'll try a little bit of it with the marinade then to see. With that. So yeah, try it like this. So yeah, there you can see, guys, the sauce. What was the sauce you said again?
wasabi cream.
Wasabi cream sauce. Just
This one is the miso shiitake buns. Basically, they are raw shiitake mushrooms cooked by miso and butter. Right, so there's no heating involved. It's just basically cooked by brine itself
nice.
from the miso.
It's very
Right, so very mushroomy, very healthy. Kind of gives you a little bit of the groundings to the foods that you're eating.
Oh, okay, nice.
What's the sauce? The pork belly, what's the sauce? Wasabi.
Oh. That's good as well. I love sour cream wasabi. Not the biggest fan of wasabi, but the blend works really well, I think.
Yeah, the wasabi here is actually very subtle. But what it does is actually add another layer to the whole flavor.
Yeah. So that's nice. I mean, the pork is great. I'm going to say that straight away. Really, really nice thing to say. Just like, it's so tender. It's got the right amount of like consistency. Like, it doesn't kind of break up in your mouth as you expect from brisket and things. It's got just that nice little bit of chewiness, the nice seasoning, and then the sauce like just gives it that wee bit more depth, I guess you can say as well. So that's really, really good. Yeah. What do you think we should? We've ended up with Ivan has brought us like 3 more things as well. What do you think we should do now?
I think I should go for the buns.
The buns.
It was.
I'll just show these to the.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, these were the little buns. We've got more.
Last one. This is the last one.
That's roast potatoes. Very good.
This one is miso buttered sauteed potatoes.
Oh,
Right, again with the sunflower seed cream. So this is a simple one for some of our tourists
Oh,
to
okay.
do at home because they need their potatoes and carb form in our potatoes.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, yeah. So these were the sort of mushroom
Miso shiitake buns.
miso shiitake buns here. So I guess we'll go for one each. Yeah. So look at this. This looks really cool. It's like a little slider.
It's very soft, very fluffy.
And it reminds me of something. I'm trying to think what it is. It's got the consistency of like, say like mince, like almost mince meat, like it's got a lot like mince meat. It's got this kind of consistency to it, and it's got a wee bit of like peppery notes and all. So you've got that sort of sweet.
Yes,
Yeah, and it's got the salty brightness that you can't mention as well.
it's very savory because of the mushroom.
That's really nice. Yeah.
But this is totally entirely vegan. So this is vegan, vegetarian friendly as well.
Oh, nice. That's good. You know. That's one thing I have to admit. I've wondered about in Asia how easy it is to be a vegan or a vegetarian. Like in Japan, where I spent a lot of time, it's almost impossible. I think. But yeah. No, this is really nice. When you say so, it's very, very good.
So over here you have the cauliflower stick as well and the roasted potatoes. the miso, roast potatoes, and all these are vegetarian friendly as well. Yeah. So of course, with the increasing numbers of vegetarians coming along, yeah, we decided to introduce these dishes as well.
Yeah.
Because we cannot be always asking them to eat salad, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we tried to take this first then, I think.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll just let you guys see the potatoes as well. They look really nice. Yeah, we'll try it raw first, and then we try it with the sauce. Yeah. It's nice little bit of like paper and stuff in there. Not really have so much water on the table.
Yep.
And then what was the sauce again? It was
This is the sunflower. Sunflower.
Sunflower seed drink. Oh yeah. I think that the sauce on it. So the sauce can see that there. I need to take my face back. This is face recognition. Yeah. The sauce is really nice. It's quite sweet almost. Yeah. Because I always have this thing that, and this is one of the things that we should say about the 1925 beers a bit, as I was saying to you before, your sort of approach is it's almost like light adjunct.
Yes.
Light beers. That's kind of what you're going for. And it's gonna, you're gonna see that in these kind of seedy, floral, spicy kind of flavors. It's not something you would associate with beer, actually.
Yes.
So it's a completely different. This is like a completely, like you said, like the Asian approach.
Yes. So when we even for our beers, when we approach it, it's the first and foremost, it's always about balance. So I could add something that's really very sweet, like lychee or strawberries, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, the beer has to be crushable.
Oh yeah.
Right? The whole or rather the whole idea of beer is it's not really to be a concept beer, but for you to finish an entire pint, and probably even ask for another.
Oh yeah. So I mean, the thing that surprised me, just the bit, as you guys would have seen on the video a second ago, we tried the lychee lager, which was Kuban's starting point recommendation. And this thing, it surprised me because lychee is often quite sweet, but I don't know if it's just the local lychee, but it has this almost like jasmine-y, spicy character, which I wasn't expecting.
So you get a slight jasmine, slightly spicy kind of character. I would say almost slightly herbal kind of flavors. That's actually what the most. And the hops that we use for lager is something that typically nobody uses. It's Sorachi Ace.
Sorry, actually, Ace. Okay, that's it's interesting. Actually, to see a lot of people really don't like that.
Yes, correct.
Because I was wondering with it if you added a little bit of you added a little bit of like something floral and spicy actually, but obviously not.
Yeah. So we realized that typically a lot of lagers out there they use mobile hops, they use sands, they use all these hops, and it's unfortunately what gives that slight character that a lot of people won't really like in beers. Instead of the dull bitterness. So we decided to do something different with Sorachi Ace. But incidentally, Sorachi Ace is supposedly an Asian malt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was actually developed by Suntory, then they developed the brand, and now of course Sorachi Ace is made predominantly in the US.
Yeah.
But I mean the origin, or rather the idea and the concept of it was for Asia.
Yeah, exactly. But there's more and more Asian hop producers now. I know in Japan, quite a few little hop farms are. The guys at Untappd are making their own hops, and I think Shiga Kogan in Japan have their own hop farm as well. So it is becoming more and more phenomenon actually. So yeah. We were talking about. You got to the point where you said. You named the brewery after the year that your grandfather was born. So, what year did you actually, like, what year did you guys actually start brewing then? 2014. So you're the 10th year this year, like you were saying. And the restaurant is now
See, so originally the brewery and the restaurant were together. And we were located somewhere in Jakarta, somewhere, definitely not from here. So, on our fourth year, we were, put it very positively, we had the opportunity to split the brewery and the company. But honestly, because the rental was going up.
Oh, yeah.
So we moved the restaurant to a standalone restaurant in Cochin, where we are right now. And then we also used the opportunity to expand the brewery. So back then we only had, say, 4 brew tanks. The tank was only about 400 liters. So since the expansion, we actually increased it by 3 times.
Okay, so you're brewing about 8,000. So yeah, that's another big question then. When you learned to brew then, how did you learn as a home brewer, or did you learn in moments or something?
Yeah. So when we first started, my brother was the chef. Or in fact, my brother was never the chef. We had a chef initially, but after 3 years, the head chef left, and then my brother had to step up. So how this whole idea came about was my brother, before all this started, my brother was a designer, right? He did graphic design and all that. And he was getting sick and tired of his customers, his clients telling him like, hey, why am I paying so much for a website? Why am I paying so much for a logo? Right? And in being an artist, he also had this hobby. He loved being an and being an artist, his plating was always very good. As you can see right here, right?
Oh yeah.
And then to him, his approach to cooking was very different. So my brother was never afraid. Everything he watched was he always says Gordon Ramsay.
Oh yeah.
Except Gordon Ramsay doesn't even know it. So he learned everything from YouTube, learned online, and even worked intern at some restaurants as well.
Oh yeah.
So his approach to a dish is actually very from an artistic perspective. So if you look at this dish, oh, it needs a little bit of green, it needs a bit of red, it needs a bit of yellow.
Wow.
And then from there, oh, what ingredient is red? What ingredient is green? What is he starts to add all these things.
Ah, yes. So then what flavour matches this?
And somehow the flavors will then come together.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So that was always the approach. And for the beer side, my uncle was actually the brewer. So my uncle started brewing about 15 years ago. So during his day job, he still has a day job. One day his Australian colleague just was him a plastic brown bottle and said, go home and try. So my uncle went home and tried and said, oh, wow, is this beer? Because back then, all he knew about beer was all your commercial lagers, right?
Oh yeah.
So the next day he asked his colleague, like, do you make this? He said, yeah. He said, wow, you can make beer. So that was what started him on this journey.
Wow.
So as I said, right, my brother was sick of his previous life, being a designer and all that. So he thought, okay, I can cook, or rather, I can sort of cook. How about to start a restaurant? But as you know, F&B is a cutthroat industry. The lifespan only about 9 months around the world. So what makes our restaurant stand out? So we started. So back then we used to have all these family parties, family potluck. So an auntie will bring curry, and another auntie will bring fried rice or something. And my uncle will always bring more. So I thought, okay, what if we had a small little brewery, right? That we had a little bit of a restaurant and some small little wines. So he asked my uncle, and surprisingly, my uncle said yes. What is surprising? My uncle was then pushing 50 plus.
Yeah.
So to be an entrepreneur at that age was quite amazing.
Quite impressive, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So my uncle said, oh, that's actually my lifelong dream. To have a little hole in the wall in the CBD area, just 3 or 4 tabs, some peanuts and some crackers, and that's it, done. But then we thought, okay, and this is Singapore, people won't queue for beer. People will never ever queue for beer, but people will always travel and queue.
Oh yeah.
Right? So we thought, okay, what sort of food can we serve? Maybe what if we did some light bites like pizzas and pastas, something easy, right? And some fried food. Then we thought, okay, if I can do all this, maybe I can do a burger, maybe we can do a fried rice, maybe I can do a little bit more. And then that's how the entire 95 brewery and restaurant was born.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. So then how did you come into it?
So all along, from the conception of 1985, I always had a day job. I was an auditor before that. But back then, I always enjoyed drinking, so I was actually hoping to come up with flavors for the cocktail bar that we had back then. Then after a while, I started looking into the beers and realizing that beers doesn't always have to be beers. Beers can be something different. So you can reach a wider demographic. So what happened was about 4 years ago, my uncle had a health scare, he had a heart attack. And that was the opportunity where I realized that, hey, my uncle is getting on into age, there's no way he can be carrying all those malls and doing all the brewing by himself. So that's where I started coming in. And that's also where I started learning all the brewing and
Oh, okay. So you learn basically
and online.
and like that's always the way. So you guys now can I like how much are you producing per year roughly? You know?
About 8,000 liters a month, so that's about 7,000.
Yeah,
Not 96,000.
yeah, just under 100, just shy of
Sure, 100, yeah.
100,000, yeah, roughly 100,000. Okay.
It's still a very small brewery though.
Yeah. So you guys like bottles? You have bottles in your cannons?
Yes, we have bottles, no cannons, mini bottles and cannons.
Okay, nice. And so, are there any sort of interesting future plans? Do you export any of your beer around like this, or are you quite happy with the size you're at just now?
We used to export to Bangkok where we had a franchise. So unfortunately, our family friend who's also running a franchise is that relocate back to Singapore.
Okay.
For his kid. So right now we can't export, but we do have plans to have our brand here overseas. So that's
All right, nice. Are you able to reveal what country?
no.
Not yet. Okay, okay, fair enough. All right, very cool. So you know, really interesting story actually. And later we're going to have a look at the beer that Ivan said made 1925 kind of famous.
I wouldn't really say famous, but that was really the pivot, the point where we realized that we should start really introducing Asian ingredients to the beer, and that was actually the first beer that we were successful in.
Okay. So it was like the revelation beer then.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so at this point, I think then we should try the cauliflower
Yes.
steak, and then we've got the pulled pork as well.
No, beef brisket.
Beef brisket.
Beef brisket.
My brain is not working today, guys. It's this heat. It's this heat. So the cauliflower steak. This looks really nice as well. Take my face away from the camera so you can see it. There you go. Looks lovely. I'm not quite sure what to say about this one. It's kind of like that's a bit of an almost like sesame dish.
Yeah.
Put on top of the
So what you're really tasting is actually the miso. And the miso is what contributes to the flavors of the dish.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Then of course we have the grill and the smooth flavors as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. You definitely get a wee bit of charcoal out of it in the aftertaste.
that's right, yeah.
Absolutely a little bit of charcoal. Yeah. That is nice. I think that's the one to finish off with, actually. Well, we have this guy here. I don't know if you guys got to see this on the camera. So yeah, this is the beef brisket. You've got more of this. That was the sesame seed paste, wasn't it?
Sunflower seed.
Sunflower seed paste, and then you've got the pickles and some little red peppers, chilies, things there as well. So let's have a wee look at this. So, as always, we try it raw first. Just cut a little bit. So yeah, we try it raw first, and then we add the other stuff on it. Look at that meat. That meat is beautiful. Just look at that. There you go. Lovely. He likes his face recognition technology.
Yeah.
It's great in some ways, but for other stuff, not so much. So yeah, try it just with the sauce and with the meat. Oh yeah. It's like an almost curry sauce in the beef.
Yes, rendang.
Rendang.
Rendang sauce, yeah.
So it's a very like not dry, but really it's like a dry spice, really strong black pepper, red pepper, like sauce. So good for the heat, definitely good for the heat. That's lovely. And the meat is just so like juicy and so tender. As well. As he had said, we should try a little bit of beer with them. So that almost like amplifies the spice a little bit.
Yeah. It doesn't, most important, it doesn't overpower the flavor.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I'll try another little bit when the But no, it's lovely.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, so there you go with the paste.
So the rendang, one thing characteristic of the rendang is actually coconut. That's what gives a little bit of the sweetness and a little bit of the flavor, the texture.
But I have to say, when you add the paste onto it, it actually balances out really nicely. It takes the spice down quite a little bit.
Yeah, correct.
So it just mellows the whole thing out. Whole balance of that dish is really nice, actually. Yeah. So I have to say, the food here is really nice. It's like, you guys have seen on the channel War Pigs. I filmed War Pigs in Copenhagen. This is like Asian War Pigs. You been to War Pigs?
No.
Oh, you need to. You need to. An American style barbecue. This is just like it's like Asian fusion war pigs. So if you like war pigs in Copenhagen, I think you're going to like what 1925. Yeah, I just have to say, yeah, compliments to Ivan with the food. And yeah, you and I are going to try some more of the beers a little bit later.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you to EK for joining us for this section. We'll stop the filming at the moment, and we'll chat a little bit, and then we'll taste the revelation
Sure.
a little bit later on. I think that would be really interesting. So yeah, nice little overview of a lot of the food here. We'll finish it off and finish it as a second. Cheers. Okay, guys, so the menu here is actually mostly digital. So they very kindly found a hard copy of the menu for me to show you guys here on the video. So you can see really interesting starters, actually. So yeah, Miyagi oysters, emping bolino, crispy chicken skins, miso shiitake buns, curried pumpkin soup, couscous salad, charred napa cabbage, cauliflower steak, grilled lamb shoulder, wood belly, crispy pork belly, char grilled wagyu and things like that, lemon fried chicken, green curry mussels, tamarind prawns, and yeah, they've got all the mains. The wood smoked beef brisket. Point end, you can hear the noise of the rain at the time of filming this as well. A few different sides there. Dirty basmati rice, wood smoked pineapple, sambal edam cheese. Looks of it as well. Really interesting menu, actually. Tiramisu, wood-fired Basque cheesecake, smoked ragu penne, wood smoked stingray steak. Really, really interesting menu. Just for a reference, the prices. And basically, if you want to get to pounds sterling, you'll double it, if you like. So, you'll half it, I would think. So, because it's about 2 Singapore dollars per pound sterling, if I'm remembering correctly. And you'll times it by about 5 for Hong Kong dollars. So, for example, the Miyagi oysters for 12 pieces, that will be in the region of like 300 Hong Kong dollars. So that's about 30 pounds sterling, something like that. A little bit, for Singapore prices, it's good. But obviously, if you're coming here as a tourist, it will be a little bit pricey, But, you have to be prepared for that. Very developed country in Singapore. But yeah, that's a little look at the menu here at Blue Smoke. And you can hear the rain. This is crazy. I'll let you see it. All right, guys. So we've made a good start on the food. I think we're going to be here for a while, right enough. But he got us a half pint of the
Liang Teh, yes.
I can't pronounce it. So this is the chrysanthemum lager, 4.8% ABV.
Yep.
Do you want to say some of them?
Yeah, so what the idea behind this came about because we wanted to have Asian and local representation here. So we decided to look at chrysanthemum, right? So Liang Teh is essentially dialect, which means cooling tea. So Asians, we always believe that you need to have the yin and the yang in that balance, right? You need to have hot and cold in your body. If you're too heaty, usually you get sore throat, you get headache, you get migraines. If your body is too cool, you get flu and that kind of stuff. So typically when we were growing up as young, our grandparents would always make cooling tea for us.
Yeah.
And cooling tea essentially, most of it is made using chrysanthemums.
Yeah.
So when we started talking about having Asian representation, we thought, why not use this chrysanthemum inside beer? because in a way, colloquially, when we say we call beer, colloquially we call beer Ang Mo Liang Teh, the white man's cooling.
Okay.
Because beer itself is very refreshing, it's also cooling as well.
Okay.
So yes, so we thought, okay, why not we just marry these two ideas and use chrysanthemum inside beer, and hence the name was coined and the beer was created.
Okay. Oh, nice. Well, so this is a lager. This
This is a lager. This is very light, very refreshing. You get the floral notes of the chrysanthemum. Because we use chrysanthemum buds, so the flavor is not so dull as well. Which you get from the real chrysanthemum.
Okay. So more like a Helles, it's more like a German Helles with the chrysanthemum on top. Or...
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Almost like a Helles. Yeah. Alright.
Yeah.
And it's not very hoppy because if you can see the weather right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Sunshine.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's almost like a little bit of a. It's interesting for me because it's almost got like a little bit of a limey note to it. Like it's almost like very, very lightly light
Yes.
kind of character, and then
Yes.
yeah, you get the bit of floral in the aftertaste sort of thing. So this really is as drinkable as like Augustina Helles, Germany, or something along these lines.
Yes. Correct.
It's really kind of like that, yeah. You could probably, if you skip this one up, you could probably make a hell of money out of that here. Yeah, because that's the interesting thing about from the brewing perspective. Like, some breweries sort of have like a cash cow that allows them
Yes.
to be things. So, yeah, I mean that's really solid, really drinkable, and it's a very good. Like you were saying earlier, one of the other things you want to do is encourage people to try the craft beer. So that's this is a very good gateway beer. Very good gateway beer, and from the business perspective, you can make a lot. Actually,
It's good.
it's really nice. So in all, for me, flavor-wise, it's like the backbone is like a smooth, like white bread crust. A wee bit of like an almost a sweet brown bread sort of thing, white bread. The sort of chrysanthemum, if I can say that word, chrysanthemum flavors kind of embedded in the bread.
Yes.
A little bit of like a biscuity at the centre of your palate. You've got like a little circle there, a little bit of like biscuity, sweet flavour. That's the booze, obviously. Although 4.8%, this beer is not really boozy at all. I think the hoppy character's taken a bit of a back seat because of the spice we've had in the foods, to be honest with you. But you do get a little bit earthy, a little bit herbal, wee touch of floral, but mainly it leans like grassy. Leans toward like the kind of grassy. Is this using like another to take that in Germany?
No.
No.
We decided to use a hops that actually mimics very closely to the chrysanthemum itself, which is Sorachi Ace.
Sorry, actually, it's
Yes.
interesting. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, Asian hop. So, yes, it's interesting to think that because it just goes to show you how a hop can behave so differently depending on the malt base or adjunct what you put it with. Because, yeah, I honestly, as I say, I would have thought the smoothness and things, I would have guessed like German Hallertau or 10-9. Potentially, like, one of the Slovenian, Salaya or something like this. So that's really interesting, actually.
So for this one, the Sorachi Ace essentially is a very tricky one because Sorachi Ace has a very high alpha. So essentially, if you boil too long, your beer becomes hoppy.
Okay.
Right. So what we learned was, decided to throw in Sorachi Ace as late as possible, probably around the 10-minute to 15-minute mark. Extract not too much of the Sorachi Ace, the bitterness, but more of the flavors. And the Sorachi Ace itself, I think it's always, if you look online, it's always well described as something lemony, limey, right? Which is probably what you tasted as well. But something we realized as well that Sorachi Ace actually has very similar smell, aroma, and taste.
That's interesting. I never would have thought that. A lot of people have said like yuzu and things.
It was
not quite as pungent.
Yes, probably not as pungent, but I mean, of course, Sorachi is been in the US, right? And nobody in the US knows exactly what chrysanthemum tastes like. So they really won't use that in the hop profile.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Nice. I mean, on the aroma, this is quite interesting because the aroma in this one is a lot more pungent. It's interesting than the beer turns out to be.
Yes.
And it's always interesting to do videos because sometimes you get beers that are exactly as you expect from the aroma. Then you get ones that are like, no, this is one of these beers that really, you smell it, you actually think it's going to be like almost like a gose, like a sour beer or something.
Yeah.
Then you taste it, but it's actually just as drink tastes like Augustina Helles or something like this. So it's
Yeah, almost done.
it's so
It's so easy.
Yeah, it's so easy. Yeah.
Especially in this hot 30 degrees weather.
What's the temperature today?
I think today is about 36.
36. Yeah. Well, Scottish, look, I mean, you can see how white I am. I struggle with the heat. But no, that's a lovely beer actually. I can see, as I said, you know, if you were going to expand, this is a good like cash cow beer, like really easy drinking one.
The real cash cow is the lychee lager.
Oh, the like.
Because everybody knows what a lychee tastes like, and lychee sounds exotic. Chrysanthemum, unfortunately, in the Asian context, chrysanthemums reminds people too much of herbal medicine.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. But no, all in all, really nice sort of light-bodied, smooth lager. It's got a little bit, you know, it's quite wet in its mouthfeel, but it also has that wee bit of dryness and crispness that you want from the lager style. IBUs 15 to 20, something like that.
12 to 15.
12 to 15, okay. Right. This is why I always say my IBU count is my weakest point of beer reviewing.
IBU is not exactly a very accurate accurate measure anyway.
I always say, oh, this is like 60, and it turns out to be 90 or something.
Yeah. IBU 100 or 150, 170 IBUs. I can start it like what's business?
What's going on here? Yeah. But yeah, malt base, little dry underneath, smooth in the middle, little touch sweet on top. The fruitiness of this one, that's one thing we didn't really talk too much about, is the fruitiness of this beer. I got a little bit of this like light limey character.
Yes. You get a light lemony lime character from
Maybe very slight pear.
Very slight.
Pear. Like a little bit of pickle. Maybe gooseberry, very slight gooseberry as well. But yeah, like it's I'd say like a juicy wet lime. Almost, I think it's a good way to describe it. Yeah, but really, really nice. So I forget the name.
Liang Teh.
Liang Teh.
Liang means cooling, Teh means tea.
So cooling tea, yeah. So beer is the white man's tea. I like that.
White man's cooling tea.
White
Yeah,
man's
yeah.
cooling tea, there we go. So yeah, that's a really nice one to taste. So if you get the chance to come here, this is a good one to start off with. Actually, this I'd probably been better start with this than the lychee. Right? And honestly, I think this would have been a better first beer because the flavour in that one's a bit more pungent. Remember, you want to work up. You don't want to work kind of back down. So yeah, have this one first. I think that's fair. All right. So yeah, really nice. Highly recommended. Definitely. That would be a very good beer for the white tourists. We'll leave it at that for this one. Thank you to Iki again for joining for this segment. Cheers. All right, guys. So this is a little look at the 1925 beers that are on tap today at Blue Smoke. So you can see over here, lychee pale lager, the 1925 lager as well, which is the kind of, sort of. It was described to me as being the Heineken-like lager that they have. They've got Yellow Van there, the Liang Teh, which is a really nice chrysanthemum lager. That's one that you really need to try if you come here. Over here, Small Monster, which is their kind of IPA, West Coast. Over here, they've got the Mango Passion Ale, which is it's not such a smoothie sour, I've been told. We'll need to have a little look at that. And they've got the Kaya Toast Stout, and then the 622, which is their darker lager. So we're going to try a couple of these during the course of this video there. But that's a little list of what you have on tap here at Blue Smoke. We're here on the 31st of March 2024. So no doubt this will change by the time you guys see the video. So yeah, guys, the other thing is you can actually buy some of the bottles here as well. So yeah, you've got Watermelon Cucumber Lager, you've got the Lychee Pale Lager as well, the Yellow Van Pale Ale, the Small Monster Session IPA, then the Kaya Toast Stout. So yeah, you can get a few bottles to take away if you make it down here to Blue Smoke. So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, time for tasting number 3 then, and this is one of EK's go-to beers, I guess, or the go-to.
Yeah.
So this one is called Small Monster. It comes in, what's it, 4.5?
About 5%.
5%. West Coast Session IPA.
Yes.
Yeah. So lovely kind of rich amber colour, this one. You can see there, nice kind of fawn coloured head, quite a bit of visible carbonation, bit of natural haziness to it. So that's good. Nose is, like old school.
Yes.
Amarillo. Yeah.
There's Amarillo, there's Mosaic, there's Simple.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Big orangey notes. bread, brown bread, sweet caramel, biscuit. Actually, a bit of earthiness. That's going to be the mosaic of this year. Yeah. But yeah, really nice. So, mango.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. The thing that jumps to my mind with this one is I'm curious about your malt base and what you're using in here because it's quite like the bready character flavor is quite bready and quite unique.
Right. So we use Maris Otter.
Ah, yeah.
So Maris Otter produces a little color, little malts, and of course, some of the caramelized malts as well. So
Okay.
caramelized malts is we use caramelic too, and a little bit of caramel free.
Okay.
So we wanted to impart that slight little, of course, caramelized malts, you have the caramel notes. Of course, the caramelized free, caramelic free would actually impart. I mean, I don't know about other people, but I find there's a slight chocolate character to it, which will balance very well with the whole bitterness that's going on right now.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, this is one of the things for me. I was chatting to Joe about this yesterday. For me, there's a very big line between like chocolate and brown sugar because you know chocolate is black beer, porter stout. Brown sugar is like double dunkel and stuff like this. Whereas this one for me, yeah, when you say Maris Otter, it absolutely makes sense. So this beer is almost like a hybrid. It's like, you know, maybe 20-30% English IPA.
Yes.
And then like 70% American.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's 1/4. Well, yeah, it's more American than English.
Yes.
The aftertaste is English, but the rest of it's American. I think that's fair. Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get the best of both worlds. Because English IPA is great. It's the classic IPA, right? But unfortunately, you know, with the trend right now, everybody wants something a little bit more brighter, more fruity.
Yeah.
Whereas for English IPAs, they tend to be a little bit more dull as compared to the American IPA, West Coast IPAs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, for those of you watching, the difference between a New England and a West Coast, there's two main differences. It's the way you hop them and the composition of your malt base. I mean, for the most part, a West Coast IPA is all barley. It's not unheard of to use a little bit of wheat or a little bit of both, but for the most part, barley. New England, of course, are going to use a bit of wheat and oat in there, and that's where you get your hazelnuts from. The West Coast IPAs are going to be more bitter because they use early edition hopping as well as late edition and early hopping. And that's basic chemistry, you know. Your wort boil is going to extract the acids over a longer period of time, so yeah, more bitterness, essentially. So, yeah. But no, that's a really nice float. You know, this would be, I can imagine this is what some of the very early West Coast IPAs in like California would have been like.
Alright.
You know, still that bit of English character.
Because they're adopting the English bitter, the English IPA to become slowly evolve and morph into
Yeah,
the West Coast IPA.
it's like one of these ones where it's adapting to the sweeter American palate almost. So yeah, no, this is interesting in that regard. It's quite an old school. It's got enough of like the modernity to it, but it retains that little bit of classic. Which is good. So yeah, I mean, if you go to the middle of the palate for me, fresh like edge rock bread, backbone, little bit of woodiness further forward, sweet brown bread, white bread. Then you've got a layer of a slightly toasty brown sugar, then a more like leathery butterscotch type. I love that. But the dead centre of your palate, sweet caramel. And that's the alcohol that gives you that sweet caramel butterscotch type thing. This one isn't over. I don't know if it's the food again, because the food has that bit of spice. I'm going to guess the IBU and you can correct me on this one. I think this is about 50-ish. 50, about
40 to 50.
40 to 50.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it right for once. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah,
I mean, yeah, your earlier guesses were quite spot on as well. So yeah,
maybe I'm better at that than I thought. Too much beer, if there is such a thing. But yeah, no, you have the earthiness, which is mosaic, I would say. As you come further forward, it's a little bit herbal. Because you said Simcoe, Amarillo, and mosaic in this one. The herbal, no, I think, it's a bit difficult to place out with those three. But yeah, you've got floral aromaticity on the front corners, zesty grassiness on the front curve and tongue. Zesty grassiness, I think, is most likely the Amarillo. Because to me, the difference between mosaic and Amarillo is Amarillo is a lot more oily and zesty. Mosaic is a bit more juicy and has the earthiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it definitely definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, the front third of your palate, the bread is there. Then you've got it's at the back. You have this like juicier passion, maybe a bit of mango.
Yes.
A little bit of mango.
You get rid of the mango, pineapple flavors. Yeah.
But yeah, really this beer is leading toward the orangey characteristics, like big oily orange. Well, actually, it's quite well balanced between the Mosaic and the Amarillo, but I think it's the aftertaste. You get a lot of the English side starts to show it's the woodiness, the bread crust.
And feel, right?
Yeah, it's almost like it has a wee. It's actually very cleverly done because it's almost like you've somehow managed to replicate the kind of molding sort of thing, the herbal sort of thing, without actually using chemicals.
Yeah.
Is that what yeast are you using in these?
US 1.5.
Yes. Okay, that explains quite a bit of the ingredients. Doesn't so much explain that earthy thing right enough, but it's still interesting. As I say, really interesting to hear this because has that English heritage. Yeah, like 1/4 English, 75% American. I think that's good. Or 1/3, 2/3, whatever.
Mouthfeel, mid-bodied. Carbonation does have a degree, so you need that in Singapore. You absolutely do.
It's a little bit higher.
Yeah, so I mean, you'll notice that in Singapore, some of the beers feel a bit wetter, which, as I say, it makes sense because of the climate. You know, you're going to get that. IBUs, we said, was like 40, 50. All these, there's a bit of dryness, a smoothness, and a drier sweetness on top, and nice oily fruits. So yeah, this one, what was it called again?
Small Monster.
Small Monster. The heat's getting to my brain and making me forget that
It's called Small Monster because it was a nickname we gave my uncle when we were young.
Ah, okay, the Small Monster. Is your uncle actually small and you guys were very big?
No, because okay, we call him Small Monster because family dinner, Asian style. Everybody's sitting around the table. They want to talk shit about my uncle. We had to give him a nickname.
Ah, okay.
Right, because he had the same table. So my grandfather, we called him the Grand Monster. My father was the oldest, the big monster, and uncle is the youngest, hence the small monster.
Ah, makes sense.
Not very creative, but yeah.
Still works. It works. All right. Well, guys, let's round off that one there. We still have.
That goes very well with this.
So we need to finish off the last.
Yes, the last piece. The last piece.
Right.
Belly.
So we'll leave this one there. Thank you again to EK. We'll see what else. I think we're going to move on to the darker stuff probably after this. Catch you guys in a second. Cheers. Yeah, so guys, this is the rain that just kicked off here. You can see that. Absolutely insane. Tropical rain. Yeah. Safe to say I'll be staying here for a little while longer. There we go. Alright guys, time for our fourth and penultimate tasting then here at 1925 and Blue Smoke. So yeah, this one is called the 622 Dark Ale. When it came out, it had a nice kind of, 3/4 finger of a frothy, I would have said kind of tan coloured head. It looked really nice actually when it was first poured. So as you can see, this one, it has a lovely sort of dark ebony rosewood type colour to it. Not much in the way of visible carbonation. And I have to be honest and say, I'm not sure exactly what style to expect of this one because it is simply just described as dark ale. So let's have a little look at the nose and just see what this is going to give us. And we'll see if we can guess the style. Yeah, it's quite fruity actually. This is interesting. For me, it's really like I really don't know what to make of this stylistically. Beer shouldn't always be put into different categories on style right enough, and especially the beers here where they're doing a more adjuncty, sessionable type approach to their brewing. But still, aroma-wise, this is really, really nice. So for me, there's a little bit of like a toasty bread crusty backbone, sweet like brown rye bread in there. And it's sweet like quite a little bit of brown sugar. It's almost like Christmas pudding, that highly caramelized brown sugary sort of thing. The way all of that pieces together, I think, is really, really nice. Big oily sweet brown sugars. Yeah, that's a really, really interesting, mix of things in there. Yeah, it really is like Christmas pudding. But yeah, oily treacle molasses brown sugars in there, and then yeah, a lot of really nice kind of sweet notes. It really reminds me of like Christmas pudding actually. Yeah, hoppy side of things, not too much to report. A little bit earthy, a little bit herbal, some nice grassy floral notes in there. Yeah, really, really nice stuff actually. So yeah, I'm really not sure what to make of this stylistically. It comes across a little bit Belgian quadruple-like, but I don't think it's anywhere near that strength. I'm actually not sure what the ABV on this one is, so we'll wait to see. But yeah, let's just have a taste of it and see how we get on. This is the 622 Dark Ale, our fourth beer here at Blue Smoke, Slange. It's almost a little bit like a plum brown ale or something like that. Yeah, really almost like plum brown ale. Something like that. Like, I mean, it has got a little bit of an English brown ale or like a sweet English stout type quality to it. It's a bit hard to attribute this one to a particular style category, but the main question should always be, is it a nice beer? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Yeah, I really do like that. Solid stuff, so it's a thumbs up from me. Let's break it down then. Middle of your palate, the back one of the beer. Slightly toasty, slightly charred, like fresh brown bready bread crust. Above that, you've got an almost like rye black bread type character. Sweeter wholemeal brown bread above that. And then the layer above that is like a Christmas puddingy, like, brown sugary type note that's coming out of it. Yeah, you've definitely got this more like Christmas puddingy, brown sugary type vibe coming out of this beer. Yeah, I really do like how that pieces together. Gets a thumbs up for me. I think this is really damn solid. Yeah. So you've got some leathery kind of brown sugars in there, which usually indicates a slightly longer wort boil. I don't think so much in this case. You definitely have a little bit more of yeah, you've definitely got a wee bit more of a kind of, I would say, you've got a bit of like a straight up sweet treacle molasses in the middle of your palate and also a wee bit of biscuit note. And I think after that we've covered everything in the middle third of the palate. So above the on the back third of your palate, then you've got the same bready characters, but you've also got the yeastiness sitting above that too. So the yeastiness that you get out of this beer is quite interesting. It is really like cakey, like a sweet Christmas puddingy sort of thing. So you've got a bit of woodiness and a bit of spiciness in there almost as well, and that sits above everything else on the back third of your palate. So definitely, back third of your palate, the flavour is taller, and as you move further forward into the middle third of your tongue, it just kind of condenses down and squashes together that little bit more. So yeah, the way that this beer goes together in that sense, I think, is really nice. Yeah, I like that about this one. It is really, really good. Yeah, really nice stuff. I think that covers the malty yeasty side. There's not too much to report on the hoppy side of the beer. Wouldn't surprise me if there was a little bit of like Bramling's Cross or something in this one. This beer has quite an English type character to it, actually. So a little bit of earthiness in the back corners of the palate there, a little bit of herbal character as you come further forward. Then it's a wee bit floral, and then a wee bit more kind of grassy toward the front of the tongue too. So yeah, really nice, really interesting stuff actually. Yeah, on the fruity side of things then, front 30 palate, rye bread crust pardon me, underneath rye bread, brown bread, then that nice oily bubble where the juicy fruity esters roll their way out of the beer. So yeah. So yeah, the fruity side of the beer for me is there's a bit of sharp raisin in there, juicy plum, blackcurrant, and some blackberry. These are all kind of common things. But I think at that we've said everything we really need to about this one. I can see why they say dark ale. It doesn't really fit into stout, porter, brown ale, anything like this. It's actually kind of somewhere in between. It's got a little bit of the Belgian-y fruitiness to it, but a bit more of the kind of English stout and brown ale. It's like a hybrid of an English stout and brown ale in some ways. But the question is it a good beer? Yes. It's nice. Quite a desserty beer, this one. I think that's fair to say. You know, the focus of this brewery seems to be very much like food pairing and stuff like this. So a dessert beer is probably a good way to describe this one. Mouthfeel wise, mid-bodied, smooth carbonation. This is a little bit more oily than some of the other ones we've had. The other ones have been quite wet. IBU count on this is quite low, you know, 15, 20 IBUs at most. You have got a fair bit of dryness though, which could make you think otherwise. The malt base is dry underneath, smooth in the middle, oily and sweet on top. And like I say, you've got that oily, wet sweetness coming out of this one. So yeah, the way this beer goes together, I think, is really nice. And it's a big thumbs up from me. So yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. This has been really interesting to try. So yeah, good stuff. Let's leave it there. This was the 622 Dark Ale, our fourth and penultimate beer here at 1925 Blue Smoke. Catch you guys in a second with something else. All right, guys. So I've had special permission to go in and show you guys the kitchen, which is, I think that's actually a first on the channel. So yeah, that's very, very cool. So if we come in here, you can see this is Sarah. Sarah has been with the company since day one pretty much. So she fine tunes a lot of the menu. So you can see this is where they're cooking a lot of these. The real pineapple and stuff, yeah. This looks very, very cool. It's awesome. So yeah, this is their little smoker here. So you can see, oh yeah, go for it. Why not? So you can see this is where all the meaty magic happens. So yeah. When you come and eat the lovely food here, yeah, Sarah and Ivan are the ones that you want to talk to. So, yeah, really cool. Thank you for letting me into the kitchen. Thank you. Cheers. All right, guys, time for the fifth and final tasting in here at Blue Smoke 1925 Brewing Company. So, this one is the darkest beer on the menu.
Yes.
The Kaya Stout, 5.2%.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
So when we set out to do a stout, we want to do, as usual, want to incorporate a little bit of Asian flavors in there. So one of the most popular breakfast sets in Singapore is the Kaya Toast Set Meal. What exactly is this Kaya Toast Set Meal? It's essentially a toast bread with Kaya jam. Kaya jam is a jam made of coconut and pandan. Right. So we have the Kaya toast together with a cup of coffee, black coffee. So if you combine these flavors together, that's what you find in the Kaya Stout. So this stout essentially on its own, it should have dark chocolate coffee notes, black coffee notes. Then of course with the pandan and coconut added in there, you have the creaminess, sweetness. I don't know how to describe pandan flavors. It's something like almost vanilla-like, but not that sweet.
Almost like tonka bean.
Probably, but tonka bean has the slight sharpness, right? So pandan is a little bit more rounded, more I would say it's sweet in the sense, right? And then of course it's accentuated with coconut as well.
Okay.
Right. So on the aroma you get the pandan and coconut. Then of course on the taste you get the sweetness as well. Then towards the end you get the coffee and chocolate notes.
It reminds me, like if I smell this. So anyway, guys, you can see stout, lovely dark ebony rosewood colour, but a half finger of frothy. Fawn coloured head start, not too much visible carbonation. But if we go straight to the aroma, it reminds me of monkey nuts. I don't know if they probably have a different name, but we used to call them monkey nuts.
Okay.
And those little ones that it's like this shell, and you crush the shell, and then the little brown nuts inside. The aroma of this one really reminds me of monkey nuts. It's got this like almondy pecan, but like wafery,
Yes.
type thing too. Yeah. And this is always the interesting thing. If you meet people from different parts of the world, your point of reference for flavour is always very different. Yeah. This is it really is like monkey nuts for me. So like yeah, wafer, vanilla definitely.
Yeah.
But like a nutty vanilla.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, almondy pecans. But yeah, a little bit of like a medium, 50-60% cocoa chocolate, not too milky, not too dark.
Yeah. Correct.
A little bit of sweet, toasty caramel. I think that covers the malty side of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bit of brown bread as well, for sure. Yeah.
So predominantly, it's more like a sweet stout. I would actually say this is it's a good stout to end with. It's a good beer to end with because this essentially is like a dessert.
Ah, okay. Because the other beer was the 622 was quite desserty as well. So this one seems it's a bit more savoury, whereas that other one's a bit more sweet.
Yes.
I would say. Yeah. Yeah. And this is core range. This is regular.
Yes, it's regular.
Yeah.
Originally, this started off as seasonal, but it became too popular. Then, they promoted it to become a core range.
Ah, okay.
So, interestingly as well, especially for your viewers out there, in Asia, people tend to avoid dark beers.
yeah.
Yeah, because everybody has this idea that dark beers are very bitter, and only people with beards, or you must be very old, or you must be a macho man, then you'll be drinking stouts.
Ah, yeah.
But of course, this is times have changed, and this is a way of trying to encourage people to drink dark beer and let people know that there's nothing to fear about dark beers.
Yeah, because for us in Europe, it's actually quite unusual to find like a 5% stout these days. You just don't find it. But yeah, no, fruity wise, it's your typical like blackcurrant, a little bit of blackberry,
Yes.
fig maybe. Hoppy wise, wee bit earthy, little bit very minimally herbal, and a wee bit grassy. I think that's it. Yeah, Slangin. EK's on the cola airs, we'll say. Ooh, yeah. Really savoury stout that.
Yes.
Really savoury.
Sweet and savory, exactly like what a kaya would
Yeah.
be like. Yeah.
It's almost, this is interesting because this is almost like unintentionally a pastry that, there's all these in many,
Yes.
so it's almost like unintentionally a pastry stout.
Yes.
And pastry stouts for me are always a hit or miss because the modern ones, I don't like that marzipan-y flavour that you put in them, that granola type of thing. But this one's actually quite nice because it's like ice cream cone wafer. That's what the kind of base of it is from. So yeah, middle of your palate, the backbone's like ice cream wafer. Above that, it's like a wholemeal brown bread.
Yes.
You get like a fluffier bread above that, and within that you've got those nutty, pecan-y type notes. It's almost got a wee bit of like a peanut buttery quality as well.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah, like
It's actually our version of a pastry stout before even pastry stout was popular.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Before pastry stout came about.
Yeah, that's quite funny when you find beers like this that were unintentionally a style that became popular later. There's one or two in Europe that have been like this. But yeah, above that layer there's a bit of chocolate, and it's more of a coconutty, like dry chocolate. In the dead center again, you have this brown sugary note, which is the booze out of the beer, but 5%, not strong, but still little touch of like oily, sweet, darker caramel, a bit of toasty biscuit character too. And then into the aftertaste, the sort of wafery flavour, the nuttiness, and yeah, it gets a bit more grainy and bready.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the Maris Otter at work.
Mm.
Yeah. So we use quite a bit of Maris Otter to get all this exactly what you said, right? The bread, the brown bread flavors.
The biscuity thing as well.
The biscuit thing, yeah. That's Maris Otter for you.
Yeah. I'm curious about the hop in this one. And the yeast as well, because it's not going to be USO5 yeast. This is like an English ale yeast or a Scottish ale yeast or something.
It's actually USO5.
This is USO5.
It's USO5.
Ah.
So USO5 is good because it's very neutral.
Mm.
And wait, you were saying USO5, yeah.
It's interesting because that makes for me, USO5 is the reason that it feels so like the bread has this little bit of almost like creaminess to it. It's like
Yes.
wet white bread. It's like that.
Yeah, USO5 is actually very versatile yeast. USO5 neutral. It's a good workhorse. It makes very good beer.
Yeah. No, there's quite a bit. I was talking to the guys at iBrewing, and one of the guys turned up with this Motueka USO5 smash thing, and it was really nice. So USO5 was quite popular here actually. Hoppy side of things.
Oh yeah, what hops?
Oh yeah. I want to say there's maybe a think English, Brahman's Cross, maybe? Kent Golden?
Something more small, more simple.
I can't think actually. If it's not East Kent Gold, like because for the red fruit you often want like Brahman's Cross. That's what you use in an English barley wine. It's not Fugal either, I don't think, because it's not ashy enough to be Fugal. Is it Fugal?
It's Willamette.
Willamette. I thought that was American.
Well, if you look at Willamette, I think if you look at its parents, it's actually Fugal. It actually derived from Fugal.
Oh, okay.
I think so. So
Yeah.
you are kind of right about Fugal as well because we use a little bit, a touch of Fugal in there. So it's we get it with both Fugal and Willamette.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's more Willamette than Fugal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a touch of Fugal in there.
Yeah. No, actually, if it had been American, I would have guessed Willamette.
Yeah.
I would say that because it's earthy, it's herbal, not so floral, like it's wet, and then it's grassy and slightly zesty on the front, and then that front third of your palate, you've got the bready base, like rye bread almost on the front of your palate, then like a sweet, then all the fruits on top of that. It's not sharp enough to be berry, it's more black currant.
Yes.
Maybe a bit figgy, very slight plum, I think, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Then
Plum is definitely one of the notes.
yeah, but your aftertaste is wafer, peanut butter, and this slightly dry cocoa nibby chocolate. Yeah, pecan and almond as well. Usually
But
good.
interestingly, you talk about peanut butter because this would be a good base beer for peanut butter as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mouthfeel wise, I think this is actually one of your thicker beers for sure. So I'd seen this as like mid to top end of mid bodied. The carbonation still has a bit of prickliness to it, though, and it still has that bit of wetness, which you need here because of the climate. You need that.
Yeah.
Because
You're
otherwise
sweating, man.
it just wouldn't work. IBU, I want to say the dryness in the IBU in this can be conflated. So I think the IBU is maybe about 20ish or something, but the dryness makes it feel like it's 30, 40, something like that. I would say that's
Sorry about 20.
20.
20.
Right. Yeah.
15 to 20.
Yeah. I think the dryness pushes it up a little bit more.
Yes.
It has that very dry pastry stouty type vibe. The malt base, dry underneath, smooth in the middle, like a dry sweetness on top, and quite a pastry type.
And the roasted barley itself actually lends to that bitterness as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then the fruitiness is it's just quite soft. Soft currant-y type notes. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is a really nice one to finish off on. And it's a Kaya.
Kaya, yeah.
Kaya Stout at 5.2% ABV. Our last beer here at Blue Smoke 1925 Brewing Company. Big thank you to Ivan and to EK for hosting and being here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We're going to use the AI to tidy up the sound and stuff a little bit, and I'll give you my final thoughts in just a little second. But thank you for hosting.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right, guys. Well, that's the end of my time here at Blue Smoke 1925 Brewing Company's place here in Singapore. So yeah, I had a really nice couple of hours here. I got to meet Ivan, I'm not sure exactly how I should pronounce that, who is behind the food side of the company, and I also got to meet EK, who is behind the brewery side of things. And it was great. He told me the whole story of how the business came to be. And yeah, it was really nice to chat with him and his brother and just get a perspective of how things are done. It's a really interesting approach to brewing that these guys have. It's really more kind of food pairing type beers that these guys are doing. Easy drinkable food pairing type beers is a good way to describe the stuff that you're going to get from 1925 and Blue Smoke. It's not like the American style crap where they're really trying to do things very, very true to style. So a completely different approach to brewing, and it's always cool. After so many videos on the channel, it's really cool to do something like this. So in terms of pricing, when you come here, it's like 15 to 18 Singapore dollars for like a full pint. So that is going to translate to somewhere in the region of 75, 80 Hong Kong dollars, something like that. So that's £8 sterling, maybe €9, $10 American, something like that. That gives you a rough price reference. You saw on the menu the prices of the food as well. EK wouldn't let me pay for anything, which really was unnecessary. I would have quite happily paid for my stuff. Very, very kind of him to do that. So a big thank you to EK and Ivan for basically bankrolling this video, which they really didn't need to do. So yeah, definitely cool to show you guys somewhere else in Singapore. This is definitely worth a visit. Come to the Unos station or Enos, I forget the exact pronunciation. Come to that station and you'll walk just about 1 kilometer. Try to avoid the heat, of course, because you can see with my skin, that's kind of how it goes. But yeah, this place is definitely worth checking out. Ivan is actually somewhat of a celebrity chef in Singapore, and he's on the TV very often. So if you see him down here, you might recognize him. But Sarah, of course, does a very, very good job too. So yeah, I think that's everything we need to say about Blue Smoke. Thank you for watching this one. Check out my social media. I'll put the link to both Blue Smoke and 1925 in the video description below. But really cool to do this one. And again, big thank you to Ivan and EK for making this one possible. And thank you to Joe, Beer Geek Speaks on Instagram, for making the connections and letting this video happen. So let's leave it at that. Until the next time, slàinte, skål, and cheers.